Hello there, everybody. And to finish off my Garfield series of reviews, let's talk about the recent Garfield movie that has come out last year. So I was going to see this movie, but I ended up just not seeing it. And it was probably for the best, since this is a pretty Garfield movie. So, after years of much Garfield content, there was just the Garfield show where we got, I think, Jim Cummings as a Garfield. It was a pretty nostalgic show, even though some people probably didn't like it. But I don't know. I remember watching it on Cartoon Network. But when they announced that they were going to do a Garfield movie, I was like, oh, that could be fun. But again, this movie isn't like what Garfield was meant to be. It takes Garfield in a more different direction, but kind of still a little bit has that feel to the old comic strips, but it kind of just feels like it's trying to mix Garfield with the modern world, with like we see like smartphones, we see references to social media. It's just a bunch of random ads to like Walmart, random nitpicks I know, but like I don't know, it just feels like in a world of Garfield, it's just about an awkward man living with his cat and dog. It just feels like it just doesn't really need to fit into the modern world. Reasons why I like the Peanuts movie. I'm comparing these two movies, but that movie was straightforward, just like the original comic strip. Like, it doesn't try to follow in the social media trend. It follows just like how the Snoopy lore is. This movie is more about Garfield going on a heist after he meets his father. So we never really seen Garfield's dad. We might have in the comic strip, but I don't know. But this time, Garfield is voiced by Chris Pratt. Weird choice. But it seems like Chris Pratt is voicing a lot of characters these days. Not that that's a bad thing. But I don't know, it just feels like Garfield just kind of just sounds like Chris Pratt's just doing his regular voice with Garfield. I don't know, it doesn't really have the sarcastic voice that Lorenzo Music had with Garfield. It just feels like they're just picking celebrities and having them voice characters that we know and love. But like, it's not necessarily a bad thing for celebrities to voice iconic characters, but like if they can do the job, then that's great. But apparently this movie is basically just a heist movie with Garfield teaming up with Odie. I'm glad they're buddies in this movie instead of like in the live action where Garfield's just mean to Odie. But in this movie, did we even see like Garfield's origin, how he met John? He did look adorable as a kitten and Odie as a puppy. But it was nice to see John grow up with the two and then move. And then we see what we mainly see in the Garfield comic strips. But Garfield teams up with his dad, who apparently abandoned him. And so Garfield has a grudge against his dad. But they learn to somewhat work together. It's where they go on some heist for something to save Vic's neck from these other cat villains. One of them is voiced by Hannah Willingham, plays Jinx, I'm pretty sure. But apparently she's like a rich cat, and apparently they're going on some quest to go to some cheese factory, and we get a bunch of like scenes where Garfield and the dad and Odie are trying to go through the various traps at the cheese factory. But they also meet this Bull character. I forget his name. But apparently he trains Garfield in how to commit the heist. But mainly this movie's just kind of slow. It just feels like trying to make Garfield modern. And I don't know. We also see like John throughout the movie. He doesn't really do anything. He's voiced by Nicholas Hoult, which is a wild choice when he's about to play Lex Luthor. But apparently John just spends the whole movie looking for Garfield. And he uses this phone, the phone to like call like a animal control or whatever, and he spends it just waiting for them to pick up on him. And he like freaks out when Garfield and Odie go missing, just like in the live action movie. But Garfield, Odie, and the dad apparently do go to this cheese factory, but when they get caught in the cheese, and they almost fall into the melted butter, which I thought was funny. But apparently the dad sacrifices Garfield and Odie by letting them get captured by the main security lady, who is apparently does not tolerate people who break into her factory or whatever. But apparently Garfield viewed this as like his dad betraying him, but it turns out he was doing it to save Garfield. But this is where we do get the finale of the movie. I'm jumping a lot, but apparently Garfield and Odie are found by John, and Garfield ends up eating all the lasagna he can have, and he eventually feels guilty about his dad. But when they did get captured earlier in the movie, apparently his dad didn't actually leave him behind. He just witnessed Garfield with John, and he thought he'd just have a happier life with John. And apparently he spent all his time watching over Garfield, making sure he's okay. He even scratched the tree that lived near their house. But Garfield is actually convinced that his dad was actually trying to save him. But it all leads to like a finale where they take down the main cat lady on the train, and it's actually a alright finale where Garfield and the dad finally make amends, and they eventually leave the train and they go back to Garfield's house, and Garfield can now live his lazy life with Odie and John. And of course we also let the dad in the house, of course. But I forgot to mention, the dad is voiced by Samuel Jackson. I couldn't even recognize Jackson's voice as the cat. I couldn't really tell. I don't know if he was even trying to imitate some kind of cat voice. I don't know. But I think I even saw the behind the scenes basically like promoting Chris Pratt and Samuel Jackson. But apparently we see the credits of this movie. We also see the bull. I forgot to mention he ended up marrying his long-lost love, the cow lady. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not good with names. But that's Garfield 2024. Honestly, the movie was just kind of mediocre for me. Like, I don't know, if you're a Garfield fan, you maybe will like this movie. Kids will probably enjoy it. It's just like, it is a kids movie. It's just something kids could probably just enjoy in the theater. It's like, ooh, Garfield. But honestly, I don't know. Is it better than the Garfield live action movies? Honestly, it kind of just makes the Garfield live action movies just look more innocent, honestly. But apparently, I don't know why these Garfield movies never could get the Garfield character right. But yeah, Chris Pratt's okay as Garfield. I prefer when he was in the Lego movie, but if Chris Pratt can do voice work for other roles, I guess I'm down to see it. But yeah, this movie could have been a lot better for me. So yeah, it just makes me want to read the Garfield comic strip, honestly. So I'd probably give this movie probably just a 5 out of 10. So what do you think of the Garfield movie? And I don't know what's next for my reviews. I'll probably just do whatever I can come up with, since I'd love to do more movie reviews outside of just a movie review a week. So let's see how this goes. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.